I'll give you Wakefield Trinity team first of all. At number 1, Martin Holland. At 2 is Craig Reeker. At 3, Adam Hughes. 4, John Bostock. 5, John Ray. 6, Garen Casey. 7, Paul March. 8 is Simon Hicks. 9, Roy Southernwood. At 10 is Gary Lord. 11, Ian Hughes. 12, Andy Fisher. 13 is Matt Fuller. The subs for Wakefield. At 14 is Martin Law. 15 is Sonny Wackaroo. 16, Wayne McDonald. Number 17 is Francis Stevenson. So we just wait for this Rovers to make their way to the pitch then. Another rainy day then here at Postfish Road. Conditions just like the game at Bellevue between these two sides, and as Rovers come through the pitch then, it's Lee Mayer today at number 1, at number 2 is Carl Hall, at 3 is Sean Irwin, 4 Davy Kimmel, 5 is Johnny, 5 is Carl Pratt, at 6 is Jamie Coventry, 7 Ty Fallons, 8 is Chico Jackson, 9 Richard Chapman, 10 Stuart Dickens, 11 Asa Ramona, 12 is Gary Price, 13 Richard Slater. The subs for Overstate, number 14 is Paddy Hanley, 15 Neil Lowe, 16 Danny Baker, and 17 is Danny Evans. And the referee then for today's game is Mr. Oddy. Mr. Nick Oddy.
Wakefield, number 1, Martin Holland, number 2, Craig Baker, number 3, Adam Hughes, number 4, John Bostock.
So Featherstone Rovers then, this is an important game then today. Wakefield Trinity, nicely poised at that top of the table, 4 points clear of Hunslet. I think they're a further, something like about 9 or 10 points in front of Featherstone Rovers, so Featherstone Rovers are just 3 points from that playoff spot in that top 5, so still all to play for this year for Featherstone Rovers. I'm sure they'll be keen to do a job today. As I say, another rainy day here at Post Office Road today. Conditions not too, as I say, not too similar to the game at Bellevue, where it absolutely bucketed it down that night, but I don't think it's as cold as it was then. So Featherstone Rovers then with Ty Fallons, I think, looking to get this game underway, this Yorkshire derby, Featherstone Rovers against Wakefield. So then away we go then, a deep kick then. Downfield by Ty. And Wakefield have possession first then, and they'll look to drive away from the own line. So this is wingman Johnny Ray on the first wing early to do some forwards work early, but he's brought down by good tackling by Gary Price and Stuart Dickens. So this time it's number 12 for Wakefield Trinity, former Featherstone and old lad Andy Fisher, but he's brought down. So Simon Hicks, it's time to run it and he's brought down. So Southernwood, he gives it there to number 10, Gary Lord, and Gary Lord makes good yards before he's brought down. It's a little bit last tackle then. That ball just kicked downfield by Garen Casey, and Lee Mayer in for Steve Collins today. Steve Collins picked up a knock, I do believe, so it's Lee Mayer looking to get away from his own line. Lee Mayer almost getting away, but Wakefield moving up quickly. Carl Pratt from Acton half-back, but Carl Pratt can't get away. It's Ty Fallons to Richard Slater. So Richard Chapman throws them and then comes this side with Captain Sean Irwin, but that's good tackling that by Adam Hughes on his opposite number. Asaramona then, Asaramona looking for a charge, Asaramona almost through. So Richard Chapman, ball goes back to Ty Fallons, there'll be a kick then downfield. Ty Fallons just places that ball over, bounces into the Wakefield 25-yard line, and he'll have to be a player, and it's picked up by number 1, Martin Holland, but he's brought down. So this is Johnny Ray again, Johnny Ray coming off his wing again. He gets to that 25-yard line before he's brought down. So it's going to be another run this time by Andy Fisher, but Andy Fisher's brought down. So this time it'll be Gary Lord, but he's brought down. So ball comes out then. Wakefield throwing that back inside, it's picked up by, I think it's Matthew Fuller, but he's brought down. So it's Garen Casey looking for runners, gives it there to number 7 Paul March, but Garen Casey just couldn't quite take that. It's Richard Slater coming away. Richard Slater, but that's play on. That ball being stolen there by Adam Hughes, and Adam Hughes still going, and the referee there don't like that tackle by Gary Price. Gary Price there it was, and Adam Hughes, and the referee not really liking that tackle, calling Gary Price over straight away. Just giving Gary Price a warning there, it's Mr. Referee, Mr. Nick Oddy, so it'll be Garen Casey to place this ball into touch then. This will take Wakefield on the attack, just short of Rovers' 25-yard line. The referee saying that Rovers were all offside there, so another chance then for Wakefield to get even closer. Quick tap this time, it's number 12 then, Andy Fisher to run it in. Andy Fisher, Wakefield just yards short now. So Royce of them were going himself, Royce of them were just held short. Wakefield at this time, I think it's going to come out then. Martin Fuller, but that ball goes back and it's going to be picked up there by Garen Casey, but Garen Casey is well tackled by Richard Slater and Paddy and Ty Fallons. That's good play by Rovers. So Gary Lord switching it back inside to Simon Hicks. Simon Hicks throws it anyway, picked up well by Martin Holland. Martin Holland almost through. So this time it's Garen Casey. Garen Casey throws it on me. He'll trying to get through that gap, but watched all the way that time. It's good tackling by Rovers. So Paul March, that little kick through. What will this be? It's knocked back, it's all on. It's Martin Holland. Martin Holland, a little bit last tackle still. Martin Holland looking for a gap. Martin Holland, that kick over, picked up well by Carl Hall. Carl Hall shrugs Johnny Ray off. That's good running that by Carl Hall. Showing his strength, and Carl Hall still going. Referee final calls held, so Rovers will be trying to clear the lines here with Lee Mayer. Richard Chapman, give it to Stuart Dickens. Stuart Dickens will run it in. Richard Chapman then to Chico Jackson. Chico Jackson will straighten up. So it's Richard Chapman giving that back to Ty Fallons, and Ty Fallons will just dab this over the John Ray's head again, and it'll bounce down, and Martin Holland will just have to play this ball. He'll have to pick it up and run it back. Good kick is that by Ty Fallon. Rovers up quickly in the line, and Richard Slater there. That's superb tackling by Richard Slater. Up very quickly and just knock Martin Holland back with that good tackle. So it's Johnny Ray with ball. Johnny Ray. So Royce will then giving it to, it's Gary Lord, but Gary Lord's brought down. So Royce Wood again. Royce Wood. He offloads it there, but that's good tackling that by Rovers. Moving up quickly. This time it's Craig Reeker from acting half back, but that's good tackling by Rovers. Misses one man out here to Garen Casey. Garen Casey looking for runners. Giving it here to number 3, Adam Hughes. Adam Hughes escapes, clutches in one tackle. Offloads it to Johnny Ray. Johnny Ray knocks on there, so that's good strong centre play there by Adam Hughes. One of finds that season been consistent try scorer for Wakefield this year as Adam Hughes. And Rovers will have to keep tabs on him, but we've got no better player to do that there though. And Rovers skipper Sean Irwin, he'll match him all the way, I'm sure he's tackling. So well, that's Rovers. It's Ty Fallons to Richard Slater. Richard Slater will run it in. Well, that might have been a knock on, but referee says it's play on, and it's Asaramona. Asaramona halfway through. Asaramona still going. Asaramona over 25-yard line. That's good running by Asaramona. So Ty Fallons giving it to Stuart Dickens. Stuart Dickens though knocks on, so that'll be play on. Wakefield pick this ball up. So this is Simon Hicks to run it in. Simon Hicks will look for a charge. This game just beginning to break into life at the moment. That's good tackling that by Richard Slater though. That's good tackling that by Richard Slater, is helped out there by Chico Jackson. So Ian Hughes looking for a gap, but Chico Jackson and Richard Slater doing well there. So Royce Wood to Paul March, he offloads it, but That's excellent tackling there by Rovers, and it's just kicked downfield, and Lee Mayo just let that bounce into touch. Right. So it's Ty Fallon's, isn't it? Gives it to Sean Irwin. Sean Irwin will straighten up. Sean Irwin, that's good strong run by Sean Irwin. Jamie Coventry then, Jamie Coventry, he gives it to Lee Mayer. Lee Mayer looking to jink throw, but referee pulling Wakefield up, saying that we're all offside, so chance for Featherstone Rovers just to clear the lines and maybe look to attack for the first time in the Wakefield Trinity after the field. Ty Fallon just places that into touch. That takes Rovers then. Just in between Wakefield's 25-yard line and halfway line, and it'll be Chico Jackson to run it in. Chico Jackson love to offload it to Davy Kimmel. Davy Kimmel gets just that 25-yard line. So Ty Fallon's giving it to Stuart Dickens. Stuart Dickens over that 25-yard line. So Rovers looking to launch an attack here. But Richard Chapman is going to go from acting halfback and switches it to Gary Price. Gary Price is brought down. So it's Richard Chapman then to Ty Fallons. Ty Fallons looking for us to Richard Slater. Richard Slater, but Garen Casey doing a good job there, and once again Richard Slater getting that ball pinched off him. One-on-one tackle, the referee judges, so possession back to Wakefield. It's John Ray there from acting half back. That's good tackling though by Asaramona. So Wakefield looking to drive this away. It's Royce on the one and giving it to Garen Casey, and Garen Casey will just kick this ball downfield, and once again Lee Mayer having no option there to just let that bounce into touch. So we just wait for the scrum to form then. Ball's in, it's out to Rovers. But Sean Irwin receiving that from the scrum again. Sean Irwin going through. Sean Irwin taking players on. Sean Irwin still going. Sean Irwin will have to take tackle. Sean Irwin gets straight back up. That's good running that by Sean Irwin, Featherstone Rovers captain. It's Carlo from acting half back. Carlo stepping away. So Richard Chapman then, Richard Chapman giving it to Ty Fallons to Jamie Coventry. Jamie Coventry will look for a gap. Jamie Coventry gives it to Davy Kimmel. Davy Kimmel throws it on with Davy Kimmel. Maybe that ball should have gone, but Davy Kimmel just kept hold of it. Back to Davy Kimmel. Davy Kimmel looking for a gap. Davy Kimmel still going. Featherstone Rovers on the attack then. It's got to be holding down as that. Not letting Davy up quickly enough. So it's Chico Jackson. Chico Jackson will look for support. Chico Jackson to Stuart Dickens. Stuart Dickens held up short. This is last tackle. So it's Ty Fallons. Ty Fallons, that little kick through here. That's got to be a penalty try to Featherstone Rovers. Ty Fallons there would just take away. I can't believe that decision there. Ty Fallons was completely taken out there. Kick that ball through, and Ty Fallons, without a doubt in my mind, was just taken out there. He had no chance of getting to that ball. The referee just gives Featherstone Rovers a dropout. Well, never mind, it's play on, it's a dropout. It's going to be taken by Lee Mayer. Lee Mayer, Wakefield Trinity there, shout for a knock on, but we'll no wait with a knock on. No way in this wheel without a knock on, and it's Richard Chapman giving it to Asaramona. Asaramona on a charge. Asaramona out 25-yard line. Good running by Asaramona. Richard Chapman for an acting half back. Richard Chapman looking for a gap. Richard Slater then to Ty Fallons. Ty Fallons to Jamie Coventry. Jamie Coventry to Davy Kimmel. Davy Kimmel though just couldn't take that ball. And that'll be a knock on. But I come back to that though again. Ty Fallons here were definitely obstructed there as you tried to get through and for his own little chip kick through. He was definitely obstructed. Featherstone Rovers then looking like we're going to come away with no, but that attack there was really started by Sean Irwin showing his strength and pace going centre of the field, and a good play that by the Rovers skipper, so it's going to be a scrum down then to Wakefield. Wakefield have a ball then back. So this time Wakefield again driving it through the middle there. You've got a big set of forwards of Wakefield looking to use them to the advantage. And it's number 12 then, Andy Fisher. Andy Fisher looking to offload it. Looked like a knock on. Referee says that's play on. No doubt about that going forward. Rovers not really getting rubber green at the moment. Another decision there. Pretty obvious knock on going against him, so we've just got to keep an ear there. Featherstone Rovers, just get them, mate. This will be last tackle. And we Garen Casey to kick that downfield. I think that this time it's going to go a little bit too far, and Lee May just letting that roll over that goal line. So Richard Chapman then tapping this, giving it to Chico Jackson. Chico Jackson hold on it in hard. So Richard Slater then to Richard Chapman to Richard Slater. Richard Chapman. For Overzone Eagles himself. Penalty then to Rovers. Ian Hughes lying all over Richard Chapman there, not letting him get up to play the ball, so that'll be a penalty to Rovers. Richard Chapman then, he'll tap this ball and give it to Stuart Dickens, and Stuart Dickens will go on a charge. Good drive that by Stuart Dickens. So listen, Richard Chapman's looking at it there. Sean Irwin halfway through a tackle there, he's just brought down. Richard Slater then to Ty Fallons to Chico Jackson. Chico Jackson will straighten up. Chico Jackson looking to offload it there, but just didn't have control of that ball, so that ball spilling out. Wakefield have it back in possession, and it's Martin Holland trying to get away from acting half back, but he's brought down. So it's another run from acting half back. It's number 4 there, John Bostick, but he's brought down. Ball up forward there, but the referee says it's play on. So this will be last tackle then. That ball kicked downfield, and well, I can't believe this. It's Lee Mayer, touch judge on pitch here for Asaramona following through there on the kicker. But I must say there, the linesman there, he out of doubt in my mind there. Listen to the crowd. I mean, play went on a good 10 seconds there, and no doubt about it there. The linesman listening to the crowd, and no doubt about it, will be Asinamono's being pulled out. In my mind, all he did do, just follow through it ball, maybe a bit late, but it was nothing malicious. But once again, I say there that dug out in the crowd there, give that penalty, no doubt in my mind that went on good 10 seconds before.
How can you tell him you didn't see it?
So the referee then looking to make a decision here, but in my view he may as well call the Wakefield bench onto it. Pitch make decision for him, because that's what the linesman did in that case. So then this will be a penalty to Wakefield, which I say once again, Wakefield Trinity dugout has just given. It certainly won't be a referee over lines, but it will definitely be cut out of a Wakefield Trinity dugout, so it will be a penalty kick. And Garen Casey stepping up to look to put the first points on this scoreboard today.
Never that's video, do they?
So it's Garen Casey who just steadies himself in. Been in good goal kicking form this year, Des Biozzi. This time though, it's sliced to the left of a post, and if you ask me there, that's complete justice for Featherstone Rovers, is that?
Well done, Josh, Josh!
So Ty Fallon's looking to drop this on the 25-yard line to restart this game. So it's going to be picked up here by Garen Casey. Garen Casey looking to make amends for that missed penalty goal. So Andy Fisher, ball pops out. It's got to be a knock-on. No doubt about it there, that was a knock-on. So Featherstone Rovers then getting possession back.
There's having too many schools in this Josh.
So ball out there, it's Jamie Coventry. Jamie Coventry looking for a gap. Jamie Coventry, that's good tackling though by Wakefield Trinity. Number 4, John Bostic, excellent tackling there. So it's Davy Kimmel from acting half back. Davy Kimmel looking for a gap. So Richard Chapman giving it to Stuart Dickens. Stuart Dickens straightening up. Stuart Dickens looking to offload it. Richard Chapman then to Ty Fallons. Ty Fallons. That kick through by Ty Fallons. The chase on here by Cal Pratt. Cal Pratt. That ball just bounced into touch low, and this will be a scrum down to Wakefield Trinity. Cal Pratt, they're looking for a penalty, saying that they were tackled without the ball. Referee says that's going to be a scrum down. So Wakefield Trinity back in possession. Referee there penalising Featherstone Rovers, saying that they were laying on all over Wakefield Trinity's number 13, Matt Fuller, so kick to touch. And Wakefield Trinity back on Rovers 25 halfway line, and it's going to be Simon Hicks to run that through. Simon Hicks, he's brought down. So Roy Southernwood, they give it to Paul March. Paul March switches it. That's an excellent tackle by Asadamoni. That's superb tackling there by Asadamoni. And that's holding on. That's going to be a penalty. That's good play by Featherstone Rovers there. Asadamoni, what a hit that was. A monster hit by Asad. I could feel that there. That's superb tackling by Asadamoni. And so Rovers then, with that penalty, taking play just in between Wakefield's 25-yard line and halfway line, and it's Asadamoni. Richard Chapman giving it to Richard Slater, then he offloads it to Sean Irwin. Sean Irwin gets on that 25-yard line. Richard Chapman then to Ty Fallons. Ty Fallons to Stuart Dickens. Stuart Dickens is brought down. Richard Chapman then to Ty Fallons. Ty Fallons to Richard Slater dancing, looking for a gap, just held short. Richard Chapman to Jamie Coventry. It comes out here, it's going to be a try for Carl Pratt. In at the corner, Carl Pratt. And Featherstone Rovers deserve that in my point of view, because they have played the more enterprising rugby. And when that ball was just flung out there, Carl Pratt just got at his grab and just slid over that line. Featherstone Rovers 4, Wakefield 0. And as I say, Featherstone Rovers deserving that, because really all Wakefield Trinity have had to offer is just a couple of drives up middle. Featherstone Rovers, without doubt, playing the more enterprising rugby league at the moment. That was good passing, but it was set up well by Richard Slater first of all. That dancing run just settled short when it went out to the left. Carl Pratt there were on outside to just finish the move off. So Ty Fallon's then with this difficult kick then from the touchline. Ty Fallon strikes it. Has it got the distance? That's superb kick that by Ty Fallon's. That's a bonus, that's a Rovers. Featherstone Rovers 6, Wakefield Trinity 0. So Featherstone Rovers then, is that going to settle them down then? Featherstone Rovers 6, Wakefield Trinity 0 with Ty Fallon to restart this game. Kick downfield and Wakefield Trinity have it. They'll look to drive away with number 11 there, Ian Hughes, but he's brought down. So Johnny Ray coming in from his wing. He's brought down. So Roy Sullivan looking to Roy Sullivan throws on, he goes himself halfway through. That's good play that by Wakefield Trinity skipper. So this time it's number 11 Ian Hughes, but Ian Hughes is just brought down, but he gets over that halfway line. So then to Garen Casey looking for honours, Garen Casey, but he's well tackled there by Featherstone Rovers. Good tackling there by Richard Slater. Sorry, Sean Irwin. Actually, with Gary Price will get it right in end. Ball kicked downfield and Lee Merrill. That's good play by Lee Mayer. Lee Mayer skipping away. Lee Mayer still going. That's good running that by the Rovers fullback. Doing a good jinking job there with Lee Mayer. So Davy Kimmel on ball. Davy Kimmel looking to straighten up. So Ty Fallon then gives it to Carl Hall. Carl Hall straighten up. Carl Hall still going. Carl Hall in, that looks like a punch, and then an all ball there goes in, but referee says get up and play it ball. So it's Richard Slater. Richard Slater gets to that halfway line. And Richard Chapman giving it to Sean Irwin. Sean Irwin halfway through. Sean Irwin still going. Gives it to Richard Slater. Richard Slater, that's got to be a penalty to Featherstone Rovers. In fact, it's a try. It's a try to Rovers. And that's just deserves his that. Lee Mayer following that kick up by Richard Slater. And Richard Slater will taken out anyway. But Featherstone Rovers, Lee Mayer says, but we shall like gone yet. I'll chase after this ball and I'll score a try. Featherstone Rovers then increasing the lead. Featherstone Rovers 10, Wakefield Trinity 0. But once again, I say Featherstone Rovers getting the just desserts, because Richard Slater kicked that ball and a good 2 seconds after they kicked it, it was taken out play. And that's just about what Featherstone Rovers is here. Featherstone Rovers 10, Wakefield Trinity 0. So with Ty Fallon's in. I kick one difficult kick, this one from other side, another Pretty difficult kick. This time he ain't got direction, but Featherstone Rovers still leading by 10 points to 0. So it'll be Ty Fallons with his kick-off. Ty Fallons kicks it low. Nearly a knock-on, but it's well controlled at end by...
Tackling well.
That's good tackling by Rovers. Ball pops out. That's a knock-on. That's a knock-on. That's good tackling by Featherstone Rovers. And Wakefield Trinity getting a little bit harassed by this hard tackling by Featherstone Rovers. But I must say it's hard but fair. This is good play there, this by Featherstone Rovers. Can they keep it up? It's been a magnificent effort so far by the lads. And it's Ty Fallons to... Picked up by Ty Fallons, but that's dropped on. That'll be play on, so... That's hand over. That's an handed over by Featherstone Rovers, but Richard Slater says, never mind, lads. Let's keep tackling it. That's a big hit by Richard Slater. So this game really coming into life now. And Wakefield Trinity then with number 12, Andy Fisher, looking to break through, but he's brought down. So it's Paul March giving it to number 10 there, Gary Lord, and what a tackle there by Asa Ramone. Absolutely superb tackling, but we've got to keep it up. Wakefield Trinity with this ball. Ball comes through, and once again it's brought down. Referee says it's play on. Featherstone Rovers drop on him. This will be last tackle then. It's a little bit last tackle. That ball just kicked downfield and not a bad kick in that. Ty Fallons will have to be quick here. Ty Fallons looking to get away. That's good play that by Ty Fallons. That's going to be a flopper, so that's a penalty to Featherstone Rovers. And no doubt about it. Ty Fallons were tackled a good 3 seconds and I just couldn't quite see Wakefield Trinity man well, but he come from nowhere to flop on Ty Fallons and well, no need for that, and referee calling him over. Just can't quite see it was it Matt Fuller? Matt Fuller it was. Just giving Matt Fuller a warning there. I think Matt Fuller realises now that he shouldn't have done that. So Ty Fallons with his kick to touch then. So it's Chico Jackson. Wakefield Trinity miles offside there, but the referee says it's play on. That looked like a swinging arm, but it's play on. Jamie Coventry! It's play on, is it? It's all on. That's unlucky that by Jamie Coventry, trying to pass it back inside to Richard Chapman, but that was a good play there by the Wakefield Trinity. Scrum half, Paul March did a good job there, but Featherstone Rovers playing to the top of the game at the moment. Can they keep it up then? Referee saying that was an elbow there. So that's a penalty to Wakefield Trinity, saying that Gary Price went in with elbow.
But for your squad line, bring the well play.
So Wakefield Trinity have this ball again. Stopping the Royce, so then one going himself. Good tackling once again by Rovers. There's Stuart Dickens and Asser and Gary Price in it tackle. So Matt Fuller looking for runners. Referee there giving Featherstone Rovers another penalty against Featherstone Rovers, and this time it's calling Sean Irwin over. Richard Chapman looking a little bit bemused by that decision, but nevertheless it's a penalty to Wakefield Trinity for holding down. I think referee warning Sean Irwin that next one will be a sin bin in, so Featherstone Rovers have got to be a little bit careful here. And Wakefield Trinity on the attack with number 10, Gary Lord. So it's Roy Sutherland then giving it to Matt Fuller switching it back inside. It'll be picked up well by Jamie Coventry then. Featherstone Rovers with the ball back in possession. Well picked up by Jamie Coventry, so Richard Chapman to Gary Price. Rovers just need to settle it down here. But this time, Wakefield Trinity man there picked out for her. Swinging arm, Andy Fisher it was. Andy Fisher this time picked out on that floor for a tackle on Gary Price. Maybe Andy Fisher looking to get his own back.
Don't forget your dinner money on Monday, Doug.
That'll be a penalty for Featherstone Rovers. Featherstone Rovers all they have to know now is just settle it down. They didn't lead, they just need to keep the calm here. And Richard Chapman giving it to Chico Jackson. Chico Jackson's brought down. So Stuart Dickens throwing it in. Stuart Dickens halfway through. That's good drive by Stuart Dickens. Gets to 25-yard line. Richard Chapman there. Richard Chapman goes himself. Richard Chapman halfway through. Richard Chapman to Sean Irwin. Sean Irwin's in the corner for Featherstone Rovers. But that try there was created by Featherstone Rovers hooker is in such fine form at the moment. Richard Chapman. And that was a superb pass there to Sulperton Sean Irwin. And Sean Irwin did the rest. Featherstone Rovers 14, Wakefield Trinity 0. And that's absolutely superb rugby that by Featherstone Rovers. And Sean Irwin has had a fine game so far as the Featherstone Rovers skipper. He went into port there, and Featherstone Rovers then really have not put a foot wrong really in his first half. The tackling has been absolutely top notch. Just don't want to put with nearly. Just don't want to say too much. I don't want to. It seems to me as soon as I say something, then usually bad things happen to Featherstone Rovers. But at the moment, they really are playing absolutely superb stuff at the moment, and it's Ty Fallon's from the touchline. Ty Fallon's on a difficult kick. He strikes it well, but once again, just ain't got direction from this side. So Featherstone Rovers are aiming to lead them though by 14 points to 0.
Keep your tackling going, Rovers. Next up.
So Ty Fallon's then looking to get this game away again, and Featherstone Rovers can we keep this superb exhibition of rugby league up at the moment, and it's Wakefield Trinity's number 2, Craig Reed having to run that in, so Wakefield Trinity with ball again. It's Ian Hughes with that drive. So Southernwood then giving it to number 10 then, Gary Lord. Gary Lord's brought down. So this time it's I think it's substitute then. Is it Sonny Wackero it is who's just come onto the pitch, so Andy Fisher straighten up, Andy Fisher out of tackles, Andy Fisher, that's good running that by Wakefield Trinity second rower. So Garen Casey, little chip out top, and Lee Mayer will have to be quick here, Lee Mayer. It's good, that's good play that by Lee Mayer. The Featherstone Rovers full back. Kept in control, so it's Richard Slater. Featherstone Rovers then under pressure on the own line. Sean Irwin will look to get away. That's good play that by Sean Irwin. Just gives Rovers that little bit more space. So it'll be Richard Chapman to come up the middle. Richard Chapman throws him, he goes himself. So Richard Slater, that's a mistake by Rovers. So Wakefield Trinity then with a chance here to try and get back in the game. Sonny Wackero then giving it to that long ball out. Picked up well there by John Bostock, but John Bostock's brought down. Matt Fuller then from acting halfback, he's brought down. So Paul March giving it to Garen Casey. Garen Casey looking for us back inside to number 1 there, Martin Holland, but Martin Holland's brought down. So Gary Lord. Ball goes to nowhere. It's well picked up though by Adam Hughes. And that's good tackling that by Featherstone Rovers once again. Absolutely superb tackling, and Wakefield Trinity, Adam Hughes getting very harassed again, showing us frustration because this tackling by Featherstone Rovers at the moment, well, It's absolutely superb. Getting over in numbers that time to push Adam Hughes into touch, so a little bit Featherstone Rovers scrumming, but really we need to just settle it down now. No mistakes, just try and get away from my own post here. Well, referee there giving a penalty to Rovers, saying that we're an headbutt in that scrum, so I think Kevin Hobson, assistant coach, just coming up pitch, just telling Rovers to calm down. Niggly match so far this Yorkshire derby, but I think Kevin Hobson trying to make a point, just keep your heads, we're in the lead, we don't need any sending offs. We're in the lead. Chico Jackson away! Chico Jackson taking on man, Chico Jackson. Well, maybe he should have kept hold of it, but Carl Pratt does a good job there. Linesman on there, that was definitely a swinging arm there on Carl Pratt. No doubt about it, that was a swinging arm on Carl Pratt, and really referee here got to be very careful because players are getting wound up. The touch judge definitely saw that straight in front of the RJB stand. And I really don't think it's frustration on Wakefield Trinity's part because Featherstone Rovers have tackled hard, but they've tackled fair, and I think just a bit of frustration here.
Did you see that one, Judge?
So it's Marty Fuller there, the Wakefield Trinity, number 13 there, getting a second warning. So that ball and kicked into touch, Featherstone Rovers on the attack, came round off this first half performance with another try. And it's Stuart Dickens really took that ball standing that time. Can't be long left now. Assadamona looking to get over that 25-yard line. Assadamona looking to get that ball out. Well, referee saying there that Richard Chapman knocked that ball on, so disappointing there for Featherstone Rovers. Had that ball in good position, but fortunately just knocking on that time. Shot ball out then with Wakefield Trinity. Featherstone Rovers really just need to calm it down, just over tackling now. They'll be happy going in 14-0. So this is Ian Hughes then, the Wakefield Trinity second rower, but that's good tackling by Assadamona. He's had a superb first half as Assadamona. And so this time it's Wakefield Trinity coming away. Adam Hughes with the ball, Adam Hughes looking for runners, Adam Hughes, but that's good tackling, that bash. Sean Irwin, that ball's thrown anyway. Johnny Ray, but Carl Hall onto Johnny Ray there, as quick as anything. Featherstone Rovers keeping this good tackling up at the moment. So that's a penalty given away there by Richard Chapman there, off the ball incident, just knocking his opposite number there off the ball, so it's a penalty there that Featherstone Rovers could do without. Just need to settle it down for these last few minutes, can't be long left now in this game, in this first half, so it's number 10 there, Gary Law, but that's once again superb tackling there by Assadamona. Well, Gary Law gets up, but there was nothing wrong with that tackle there, it's just superb tackling. So Garen Casey misses one man out. Picked up by Martin Holland, referee says that's play on. So that ball looked forward, but Martin Holland picks this up and he'll carry on. He'll get to the 25-yard line. Featherstone Rovers, can they keep him out then just before half time? It's Garen Casey looking for that kick. Assadamona just in perfect position there. Assadamona just falls on that ball. What's that going to be there? Referee saying that that's a penalty there and that it's offside. Referee saying there that we were 2 men in that tackle, so it's going to be a penalty to Featherstone Rovers then. So Ty Fallons with that kick to touch then. Takes play between the Featherstone Rovers own 25-yard line and the halfway line. It'll be Chico Jackson to run it in. Chico Jackson. That looked like an high tackle there. Tempers being flared there. Tempers being flared at half-time, and Featherstone Rovers there, no need to get involved. Just come away with it. In the lead half-time. The referee's seen the high tackle. Let's just keep tempers calm, Featherstone Rovers. There's no need to get involved like this. Wait, look at the scoreboard, Featherstone Rovers. Look at the score, Featherstone Rovers. We're 14-0 up. Just calm it down. It's Wakefield 22 who's getting the heads. Not got the heads on properly. Sean Irwin coming out on road with the referee. I've had so many warnings, but once again players get frustrated if decisions aren't going to be made. So it'll be a penalty to Featherstone Rovers, and what will Featherstone Rovers do with this? Ty Fallons then to plant this ball into touch. Ty Fallons with that big up and under then, but that's safely taken there by Wakefield Trinity, and that'll be half time then. Entertaining game then. Featherstone Rovers leading 14 points to 0. Niggling incidents, players talking to each other as we leave this pitch, but Featherstone Rovers can laugh at Wakefield Trinity because we're 14-0 in the leads. With tries by Carl Pratt, Sean Ewan and Lee Mayer. Featherstone Rovers at half-time leading by 14 points to 0. And what a superb performance by Featherstone Rovers. So then all the players on the pitch then for the second half. Give it half-time score again for Featherstone Rovers. Leading here by 14 points to 0. Absolute superb performance by Featherstone Rovers in that first half, but can they keep it up? Wakefield Trinity will come out sure fired up. So we're just waiting then for Garen Casey to get this game underway. Kick downfield then. Nearly Davy Kimmel will get this ball. Davy Kimmel will look for the gap. So Ty Fallons then. Ty Fallons giving it to Jamie Coventry. Jamie Coventry then giving it to Asaramona, but Asaramona's well tackled there. Referee there pulling Asaramona out. Well, all that's what we're doing there, we're just trying to get to his feet, and this looks like it's going to be a penalty against Featherstone Rovers. So that's a bad alien discipline there by Asa, so Asa might complain that it was all over him, but really Featherstone Rovers, there's no need really to do that at this stage of the match. Just giving Garen Casey an early penalty opportunity here. So Gannon Casey then. Difficult kick is this. He's already missed one back kick today, but he's been in good form most of the year as Gannon Casey. He's got the direction. Well, that's gone wide, so still remains on Featherstone Rovers 14, Wakefield Trinity 0. So game's underway again. Ty Fallon's just chipping that downfield. Good kick is that, and Wakefield Trinity now in possession with John Ray. John Ray will look for a gap, but that's good tackling though by Stuart Dickens. So this is Wakefield Trinity on the attack. It's number 13, Matt Fuller, who gets to the halfway line. So this time it's number 12 then, Andy Fisher, but he's brought down. So Gannon Casey then, Gannon Casey looking for runners, Gannon Casey looking to get outside, but that's good tackling though by Richard Slater. So a bit last tackle then. What will it be this time? Paul Marsh runs himself, comes back there, Wakefield Trinity a little bit of... Here it is, so it'll be Lee Mayer. Sorry, Ty Fallons takes that ball beautifully there, that's good. Play that by Ty Fallons, another fine game so far. Lee Mayer looking to get away, but Lee Mayer's brought down, and penalty there for the Featherstone Rovers. Lee Mayer being shoved to the floor and he tries to get up and play that ball, so chance then to clear the lines then. Referee there having another word with Matt Fuller. Must be for third time I think today, so giving plenty of warnings out as referee Mr. Nick Oddy. So Featherstone Rovers then clearing the lines, just getting short of that halfway line. It'll be Richard Chapman to Stuart Dickens. Stuart Dickens gets over that halfway line. So Gary Price this time, Chico Jackson straightens up. That's good drive that by Chico Jackson. Richard Chapman dummies and tries to go through himself, but he's brought down. So Ty Fallons goes himself. Ty Fallons here, referee says it's all on. That ball pops out, ball like a bit bar of soap at the moment, but Martin Holland has it, and Martin Holland will settle things down for Wakefield, just straightens up. And Aston Amona coming up with another superb tackle there. So Wakefield Trinity then front ball about, but it's a good tackle by David Kimmel on Andy Fisher. So this time it's Sonny Wackadoo. Sonny Wackadoo gets to that halfway line before he's brought down. So this time it's Gannon Casey, then he gives it to... It's all on then, it's Gannon Casey. Gannon Casey through the tackles, Gannon Casey looking for runners. Gannon Casey, ball goes out there, that's an excellent tackle. Superb tackle there by Carl Hall. The way he got across there, and absolutely superb tackle. I just couldn't quite see it when I think it was Craig Reiki. But Carl Hall getting across there, and absolutely superb tackling once again. But Wakefield Trinity look dangerous there, and Featherstone Rovers have got to be aware. So Danny Baker coming onto the pitch for Aston Amona. And Aston Amona has had an absolutely superb stint there. It's been absolutely superb as Aston Amona this afternoon. So far, superb stint, taking a well-in breather. Ball pops out to Sean Irwin. Sean Irwin already seen him come away from position like that. Well, referee giving a knock on there. Sean Irwin saying that there was no way he could get to his feet, and referee saying that you spilt the ball when you tried to get up to play it ball, so it's going to be a scrum down, Wakefield Trinity's ball. More pressure then for Featherstone Rovers. Can they keep him out? Garen Casey giving it to Martin Holland. Martin Holland looking for a gap. Martin Holland almost outside Lee Mayer, but Lee Mayer sticks to him like glue. So this time it's Matt Fuller. Matt Fuller will look for a gap. Matt Fuller, but that's good tackling by Rovers once again. David Kimmel and Gary Price finally bring him to the ground. So this is number 12, Andy Fisher. Andy Fisher will straighten up, looking for a gap. Good tackling by Rovers once again, though. So from Acton half-back, it's Southern Wood, but that's going to be a knock-on. That's a knock-on. Featherstone Rovers have the ball again, so that's a let-off. Can Featherstone Rovers now just settle it down. No silly penalties. Just settle it down, Carl Hall. Carl Hall, that's good running by Carl Hall. Gets to the 25-yard line. So Danny Baker's first touch. Referee saying that that's another knock-on. Saying that Richard Chapman knocked on. So Featherstone Rovers again, really. I must say, I didn't see that knock-on myself, but nevertheless, it's going to be another scrum down to Wakefield Trinity. And Featherstone not really clearing the lines at the moment. So it comes out here to, it's kept alive, and it's Paul March going for line. He's brought down. Throw from Acton half back, it's Martin Holland. No way through there though. So it's Garen Case, that little kick through there. And Danny Baker will just knock that over that lane. It's going to be a dropout for Featherstone Rovers. Wakefield Trinity fans, they're shouting that Garen Case were impeded, but what happened to Ty Fallon's in first half? So Wakefield Trinity making another change. On comes number 17, Francis Stevenson. Just can't quite see who's come off. It's Gary Lord who's just come off then, so that kick downfield from that dropout by Ty, and it's John Ray who has that ball in his hands. John Ray is brought down though by a good tackle by Richard Chapman. So Martin Holland throws it home, he goes himself. So this time then it's number 12 and Andy Fisher. Andy Fisher, that's excellent tackling by Rovers once again though. Knocking Andy Fisher to the sideline, then bringing him down. So Martin Fuller gives it to number 15, Sonny Wakaro. Sonny Wakaro is well met there by Danny Baker. Good tackling there. Martin Fuller looking for runners. Martin Fuller to Garen Casey, but that's superb tackle by Richard Slater on Garen Casey. Last tackle, can Rovers keep him out? Excellent tackling again by Featherstone Rovers there. That's going to be the handover. That will be handover, that, so it's superb tackle again though. I just couldn't see who it was, but it was an absolute magnificent hit once again. This is what I like to see. This is what I like to see in Featherstone Rovers. This is Danny Baker away. Danny Baker on a charge. Danny Baker. That's good running that by Danny Baker. So Lee Mayer will have a tilt. Ball spills out though, and referee saying that was a knock on. So once again though, Featherstone Rovers not really clearing the lines, and I think Lee Mayer is upset with himself there. Featherstone really are under pressure at the moment. Well, referee saying that Wakefield Trinity knocked on there, so I think he's saying that they ripped it out one-on-one, so that's why it's a penalty, and having problems at this scrum then. Ball's finally out to Rovers. And it's Sean Irwin looking for a gap. So Ty Fallon's then giving it to Carl Hall. Carl Hall will go on a canter. Carl Hall's brought down. Danny Baker this time on charge. Danny Baker. Does your 8. So this is Jamie Coventry. Jamie Coventry looking for a gap this time. Non-coming, just has to take the tackle. Richard Slater then to Gary Price. Gary Price will straighten up. Gary Price. That's good tackling by Wakefield Trinity that time. Richard Chapman, then this will be last tackle, and Richard Chapman will just try and find his touch, but it's well picked up by Craig Reeker. Craig Reeker just runs that back over that 25-yard line, and it's this time it's Martin Holland. But Featherstone Rovers will open up quickly again there. So substitute then, Francis Stevenson, but he's brought down by a superb tackle by Chico Jackson. Garen Casey. He offloads it. Good running that by Wakefield Trinity. Number 13, Matt Fuller, there it was. So it's Sonny Wackaroo will have a run. Stuart Dickens though. Stuart Dickens brings him down. So from Acton half back, it's Southernwood, gives it to Paul March, and it comes to Martin Hall switches it back inside to number 4, John Bostock. That's going to be the last tackle, Lincoln Featherstone Rovers, just keep him out again. So Southernwood then, that little kick through, well placed by Ty Fallons, and Ty Fallons just has to run it out and take his tackle, and that's what Ty Fallons does. Good play that by the Rovers scrum half, so it's Stuart Dickens throwing it away. The Rovers just did another set of 6 here just to settle things down. Richard Chapman then giving it to Richard Slater. Richard Chapman throws and gives it to Carl Hall. Carl Hall looking to get away, but just can't get away that time. I think Featherstone Rovers making a substitution. I think quite sure who's come on. Chico Jackson's left the pitch, and I think it's Neil Lowe's come on. So Featherstone Rovers making another change then. And Gary Price will run it up middle. That's good running that by Gary Price. So this will be last tackle then. It's Ty Fallons with that kick downfield. Martin Holland then, he'll have this in his hands. Martin Holland will run it back. That's good tackling though. The Rovers moving up quickly. Sean Irwin there it was. Johnny Ray. He's brought down. So that's good running that by Wakefield Trinity. Have a bit of space here. It's number 14 there, Martin Law, but that's good tackling by Rovers. Neil Lowe substitute, doing a good job there, and it comes out here, but that's going to be a knock on. Richard Chapman picks it up. Richard Chapman will straighten back up. So Rovers have possession again. All they have to do is just play normal up here, just nothing silly. They're in the lead. Wakefield Trinity's got to do all the catching up. Richard Chapman to Richard Slater to Ty Fallons switching it back inside to Sean Irwin. So Ty Fallons looking to get that ball down the back, but it's knocked on, and Wakefield Trinity come away with ball then. So it's Paul March. He offloads it. Featherstone Rovers, can they keep this tackling up? Ball being swung out wide, it comes out here to number 14, Martin Law, but Martin Law's well tackled there by David Kimmel and Neil Lowe. So Paul March, he offloads it to Francis Stevenson, then it comes out here to Ian Hughes, but Ian Hughes is well tackled once again. So Southernwood, he offloads it. Comes out here to Sonny Wackaroo, back inside here to Stevenson again. This is better by Wakefield Trinity. Featherstone Rovers must concentrate here. Long ball out here to wingman Craig Reeker. Has he scored a try? Referee looking for confirmation from his touch judge. There's going to be a tap there on that 25-yard line to Featherstone Rovers. So referee saying that he must have lost that ball over that line, so...
Is he snapping that? Are they snap wrapped up in that flag?
So it's Gary Price to run it in. So Stuart Dickens, that's a good run by Stuart Dickens. Richard Chapman giving it to Richard Slater. So Danny Baker with that run. That's good running that Danny Baker. So Ty Fallons gives it to Jamie Coventry. That good kick through by Jamie Coventry. But that's good position though by Wakefield Trinity. Good play with that, so it's Wakefield Trinity back in possession. And from number 14 substitute Martin Law, but he's brought down. So it's Royston Wood, he gives it to Sonny Wackaroo. Sonny Wackaroo looking for yards, but excellent tackling by Neil though. Royston Wood, he gives it to... That's good tackling, ball pops out. Well, referee saying that would have died. Referee saying that would have died, so that's going to be a penalty to Wakefield Trinity. So again, Rovers fans there not liking that decision, so... Nevertheless, it's Wakefield Trinity who's going to be on the attack again. Can they keep this superb tackling out and keep Wakefield Trinity out? This is danger. It's number 17 there, Francis Stevenson. He's held up short though. So Paul March looking for gaps, but Rovers keeping that tackling up. Good work there. So Garen Case looking for runners, comes to number 11. Ian Hughes, but Ian Hughes is well met there by an handful of Featherstone Rovers tacklers. So Southern what's he going to do? That's good tackling by Rovers again though. On Sonny Wackaroo, that's excellent tackling. Ball kick through, that's superb play by Jamie Coventry. Jamie Coventry just tapped that touch side and dived on it with glee. So it's Featherstone Rovers with the possession again. Carl Pratt coming away. Danny Baker looking for another good drive, but this time as well tackled that time as Danny Baker. Richard Chapman to Sean Irwin will run it in. Richard Chapman from acting half back there. Richard Chapman looking for yards. Richard Chapman nearly swivels away and it's play on. And Sonny Wackaroo there, that's got to go for that. Well, Wakefield players getting involved, but Featherstone Rovers, just all they have to do is just stay out of it here. Just stay out of it. There's no need to get involved. Just calm down. The touch judge just seen it. Just calm down. Just keep away. There's no need to get involved. Sonny Wackaroo there threw about 3 punches there without a doubt. The linesman's seen it. And surely it's got to go for that there. He incited that bit of niggling there. He's got to go for this. Sonny Wackaroo's got to go for this. An unprovoked attack there by Sonny Wackaroo. He's got to go for this. Sonny Wackaroo. There's too many warnings now, and this has got to be at least a sin bidding. Stevenson 17. So then referee just having a word with both his touch judges, trying to make his decision, but if he hasn't seen that attack by Sonny Wackaroo, then I don't know what's up. Well, Richard Chapman being sent to sin bin. He's going to get 10 minutes at sin bin, is Richard Chapman, along with Sonny Wackaroo, but I feel sorry for Richard Chapman there because it was an unprovoked attack by Sonny Wackaroo. And it's a red card though. A red card has come out. Red card, I think it's for Francis Stevenson. I think it's Francis Stevenson, the substitute, who's been sent from a field of play. Lee Mayer now being sent off. Well, I can't believe this decision here, what the referees. It's absolutely... Well, that's appalling. That really is absolutely appalling refereeing, is that. You can't just blame the referee, both touch judges and the referee. That is absolutely appalling refereeing. Absolutely disgusting refereeing, and... Well, that's just a sham, is that. It's absolute sham. Well, Featherstone Rovers, just keep your heads now, just... So Wakefield Trinity just short of this try line then. Looking, there's man out wide here, it's Martin Holland, but that's good tackling by Davy Kimmel. Then it's met by Jamie Coventry as well. So this time it's number 14, Martin Law. Martin Law runs it in. So that's a long ball out wide. Wakefield Trinity looking to keep it going. Sean Irwin clinging to him like glue. Wakefield Trinity, and this is danger then, this is danger. Going for that line once again, L short. This is last tackle. Can Featherstone Rovers just keep him out then? Kick through there, and Ty Fallons will just have to knock that over his own line. That's sensible play by Ty. But this is pressure by Wakefield Trinity. Both sides down to 11 men for time being, so there's plenty of gaps. So it's Garen Casey gives it to Ian Hughes. Ian Hughes will run it in. So ball match, looking for him as it comes out here to number 14, Martin Law, but he's met by good tackling by Davy Kimmel and Carl Pratt. So ball match giving it to Garen Casey. Garen Casey, ball up forward, referee says it's play on. Ball up forward, referee says it's play on, so it's number 3, Adam Hughes, going from acting half back. Adam Hughes held up short. Just tackled short is Adam Hughes, so Wakefield Trinity so near so far. Going from acting half back, it's Southernwood. Ball pops out. It's all on, is it? Get a knock on, so which way is this going to go? It's a referee give a knock on. It's going to Wakefield Trinity away, so it's going to be another 6 tackles on this line then. I just couldn't quite see what happened then, to be honest. Through a crowd of players, ball just... And there's going to be an injury to Gary Price then, so Featherstone Rovers under pressure at the moment. So Wakefield Trinity then with this ball then. Garen Casey looking for a gap, but he's brought down. So Matt Fuller switching it back inside to number 16, Wayne McDonald, but he's brought down. Southernwood then with that ball out to Garen Casey. Ball's tapped on. Picked up by Adam Hughes. Adam Hughes going for that line. That's a superb tackle by Richard Slater once again though. So Southernwood ducks under a tackle, goes himself. Ball goes anywhere, picked up by Gary Price. And pressure has been relieved for time being. Rovers back in possession. Neil Lowe coming away, Neil Lowe. Just 6 good tackles here. He'll do nicely, just right ball in, play the basics. Davy Kimmel to run it in. Davy Kimmel looking to get outside his man, but he's brought down. Neil Lowe with this drive, Neil Lowe will run it in. Side Fallon's entry, Danny Baker. Danny Baker away, Danny Baker looking for support, that's good running by Danny Baker. This will be last tackle then. It'll be Ty Fallons with that kick. It's a good kick is that by Ty Fallons. It's an excellent kick like by the Rovers scrum half. That takes play in Wakefield Trinity's 25-yard line for the first time in a long time. But Rovers have done well there to take that pressure. Can they keep it up then? Wakefield Trinity scrum then. It's Garen Casey. That kick downfield was Cal Pratt's after that. Cal Pratt just takes his time. Cal Pratt will just take his time, and then he'll run it back. Cal Pratt away from one man. Cal Pratt looking to stay. Cal Pratt still going. That's good running that by Cal Pratt. Brilliant play by the young wingman there, Cal Pratt. David Kimmel to Neil Lowe. So Gary Price to run it in. Gary Price. So it's Ty Fallons halfway through. Stuart Dickens finds a gap. Stuart Dickens back inside, picked up by Danny Baker. But if that had just fell there for Jamie Coventry, I'm sure it'd been another try there. It just fell behind him. But Rovers now just short. It's Ty Fallons. That little kick through. Martin Holland, all he has to do here is just knock that over his own goal line. That's good play that by the Wakefield Trinity full back. But now it's pressure by Featherstone Rovers. So it's a drop out by Gannon Casey. Neil Lowe just taps that with his foot, then he'll run it back, will Neil Lowe. He'll have a go, will Neil Lowe. So David Kimmel gets away. David Kimmel. So Stuart Dickens to Ty Fallons to Richard Slater. Richard Slater's brought down. So it's back inside there to Gary Price. So Ty Fallons looking to switch it to Sean Irwin. He's brought down. So Ty Fallons looking for the drop goal. That's a brilliant kick by Ty Fallons. Sensible thinking there by the Rovers scrum half. That takes Featherstone Rovers now. First points this second half, further in the lead. Featherstone Rovers 15, Wakefield Trinity 0. So that was sensible play that by Ty Fallons. So with Ty Fallons then to get this game underway again. Wakefield Trinity have it safely in their hands. Ball's flew back anyway. So Featherstone Rovers then looking to keep Wakefield Trinity pinned down here. It's good tackling by Rovers, moving up quickly. So this is Southernwood from acting half-back. Southernwood looking for support, comes to Ian Hughes, but Ian Hughes can't get away. So picked up well there by John Bostock, but he's well tackled by Jamie Coventry and David Kimmel. So that's a kick downfield, and Cal Pratt letting it bounce. Cal also letting it bounce. Felt there that Cal might have took that on the full, but allowing it to bounce, that's always dangerous. Ty Fallons to Cal Hall. Cal Hall for a gap. Cal Hall's brought down. So Danny Baker with a run. Danny Baker. He's done well as Danny Baker since he's come on. Richard Chapman then back on pitch for both the Simbins have ended then. Richard. Ty Fallons to Jamie Coventry to Cal Pratt. Cal Pratt nearly through the gap. That was a good play by Rovers. David Kimmel to Ty Fallons. Ty Fallons finds a gap. Ty Fallons looking for support. Ty Fallons still going. That's good running by Ty Fallons. He's had a fine game as the Rovers scrum half. And it's Richard Chapman gives it to Sean Ewing to David Kimmel. David Kimmel is just short. David Kimmel. That'll be the last tackle. But that was once again a good play by Featherstone Rovers. And it's Ian Hughes running it away for Wakefield Trinity. Featherstone Rovers though, what a performance so far today. It's been absolutely superb. Well, you look at man at matches and so far, you know, you can't give it to anybody because it's been an absolutely superb team performance. I really can't pick anybody out because it's been an absolutely superb team performance, but this is danger though, and that ball though just bounces into touch. Featherstone Rovers scrum. Really, this performance, it really does. It deserves to be seen by most spectators, and anybody watching this video at Mintook game today, well, get yourself down and come and cheer on Featherstone Rovers because they've shown today we've got team spirit. They want to play as a team, and this is what I call a Featherstone Rovers performance of all because it's been absolutely superb. The tackling's been right, the attacking's been right. They're not cost a little bit in the second half, but the tackling have been absolutely superb. It's Aston Amona then. Jamie Coventry then to Carl Pratt. Carl Pratt looking to get away. That ball just pops out, so that's going to be a knock-on. So that'll be a disappointment for Featherstone Rovers.
Oh, that's come on, Tom.
Eric. So Paul March then to Sonny Wackaroo, he offloads it then to Martin Holland, and he's brought down. This time it's Matt Fuller. Matt Fuller looking for a gap. Matt Fuller nearly through. So it's number 14, Martin Law from Acton half-back. Picked up by Matt Fuller, then he gives it to Simon Hicks. Simon Hicks to Sonny Wackaroo, gaps out here. Number 10 there, Gary Lord, he offloads it to John Ray, but John Ray, that's good tackling by Rovers again. Can they keep him out? Can they keep a clean sheet against the top of the league? Simon Hicks looking for a gap, but none coming. So ball back inside as he just got short, good tackling by Rovers. So it's Sonny Wackaroo, that kick through, and that's well dived done. I'm trying to say what it is. It's Richard Chapman. That's well played by Richard Chapman. So David Kimmel looking to come away. David Kimmel. So Paddy Hanley come on pitch for Carl Hall, and he's going to receive a ball then. Paddy Hanley will have a run himself. So Richard Chapman to Richard Slater. Richard Chapman then to Aston Amona. Aston Amona giving it to Neil Lowe. Neil Lowe to David Kimmel. David Kimmel just couldn't take that ball though. That was unlucky, that for David. Just couldn't take that ball. If he did, I think Featherstone Rovers had an overlap there, so another turnover. Wakefield trying to have this ball, and Featherstone Rovers, all they have to do when we get the ball now is just drive up middle, play the sets of 6. We've got nowhere to throw the ball about at the moment. Ball's out then to Sonny Wackaroo, that kick over, Paddy Hanley, that's good play by Paddy Hanley. Realised the situation, that's good play that by Paddy. And he's brought down his Paddy. So this time it's Richard Slater. He's had a superb game as Richard Slater. The tackling has been immense as usual. So Richard Chapman gives it to Sean Irwin, but Sean Irwin's well tackled that time by John Ray, I think it was. Paddy Hanley then from Acton half-back. Paddy Hanley through one tackle. That's good running that by the substitute, Paddy Hanley. So Richard Chapman will have a go. That's good running that by Richard Chapman. This will be last tackle. That's sensible play by Rovers, just for basics. Ty Fallon's that. Kick downfield. It's picked up well low by number 2, Craig Reeker. He's brought down.
That's it.
And that's Ramona pulling up. I hope that's not a bad injury. Limping off is Ramona, going straight off. I hope that's not a serious injury because he's had a superb game today as Ramona. It's like he might have pulled a muscle, maybe hamstring. So this is Martin Holland coming away, but that's good tackling again by Sean Irwin. Superb tackling there. He's had another fine game of Sean Irwin. First half try scorer. He's had a sound game of Sean Irwin, the captain today. So this will be last tackle. It suddenly just kicks that downfield. It's going to be picked up by Ty Fallons. And Ty Fallons had a superb game as well. That's sensible play that by Ty Fallons, not looking to pass it, but I think he's sensible there, just took the tackle, and now Ty Fallons has looked like he's took a knock, so it's Carl Hall's back on pitch for David Kimmel. Carl Hall returning for David Kimmel. So this time it's Danny Evans who's come on pitch. He's come on pitch for Assanona, so it's Richard Chapman giving it to Neil Lowe. Neil Lowe stepping back inside. That's good play that by the Rovers second row man, Neil Lowe. So Richard Chapman, he'll just kick that into touch. Sensible play by Richard Chapman. Just keeping play down here. In fact, it was Stuart Dickens has gone off for Danny Evans, who's come on for Stuart Dickens, so this is Sonny Wackeroo. So penalty then for holding down, and Sonny Wackeroo gets up and plays that quickly. So this time it's Wakefield coming away with Ian Hughes, but Ian Hughes gets back up, throws that ball, but it goes to nobody, picked up by Southern, and that's a knock on. So Featherstone Rovers and keep it pressure on with this superb tackling. So Danny Baker with that ball from the scrum, Danny Baker. So David Kimmel looked to straighten up.
And today's man of the match is number 13, Richard Slater from Africa. Today's coming up the Warriors Scotland of Drivers Association.
Carl Holland looking for gaps. Match is beginning to Richard Slater. Well, can't really argue with that as a fine game as Richard Slater, but as I said, you can't really pick out individuals. We've got to get man at match to somebody, but it's been a superb team performance today. Richard Chapman from acting half back. Richard Chapman going himself. Richard Chapman finishes it off with one of his specials. Brilliant play by Richard Chapman. And just look at the players. That is team spirit for you. That is Featherstone Rovers. Brilliant play there by the Featherstone Rovers hooker. Went from acting half back and showed his pace and his strength. Brilliant play there. And that'll just seal it for Featherstone Rovers then. Featherstone Rovers 19. Wakefield Trinity 0 with a kick to come. Great try. Well, this is absolutely superb, is this? I don't think anyone expecting this, and they've showed once again. So the Ty Fallons in from the touchline then. Struck it well, that's a beautiful kick by Ty Fallons. Featherstone Rovers then, when the Ultra goes, Featherstone Rovers winning this superb game today by 21 points to 0, beating Wakefield Trinity team, who are top of the league, and what a performance that is, to nil the top of the league. It's some achievements, and it's been an absolutely superb performance. Just one try in second half, that beauty by Richard Chapman, with minutes to go. Drop goal and another goal by Ty Fallons, completing the scoring. Featherstone Rovers winning by 21 points to 0, and just look at this crowd. They've waited for this and waited for this, and that's an absolute superb performance. They've stuck by the club a couple of weeks ago, but we're walking out in zones after being thrashed home by Rochdale, but now they've shown they can do it when they want to, and this is a magnificent confidence boost. I'll just give you a final score again here from Post Office Road. Featherstone Rovers 21, Wakefield Trinity 0.
Fantastic players today, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I'll tell you things, come down the Post Office Road. It's a big ball.